These are the top 5 styles of gentleman's shoe I think you should know about. Number 1 is the Oxford. Oxfords are a formal laced shoe that are characterised by the closed facing at the vamp. The history of the Oxford stems from the boot. The end of the era of breeches and the introduction of the trouser meant that boots needed to be lowered, and initially that stopped at the ankle, which gave rise to styles like the paddock boot, now known as the Chelsea boot, and the Oxonian. The Oxonian became popular at Oxford University, and the name came from there. When in Kingsman, Colin Firth says Oxfords not brogues, what he means by this is that broguing refers to the perforations that you see in a shoe. Whilst you can get broguing on a lot of styles of shoe, most of the time they are Oxfords, and they remain Oxfords even when they are brogued. Various examples of Oxford include Adelaides, capped toe, hole cut, dress, and correspondence. If you're looking to get a pair of smart shoes for a work or formal events, this is the place to start. These work best with a suit, morning dress, or blazer with flannel trousers. Number 2 is the Derby. The Derby is much like the Oxford in its dexterity, but it is characterised by the open facing rather than the closed. This gives it a more casual, rugged silhouette, and will be more readily found in a hatched or buckskin leather. Like the Oxford, the Derby was originally a boot used for hunting. The story goes that the 14th Earl of Derby had big feet, so his bootmaker made the open lacing to make it more comfortable. It dominated country wear, then became acceptable in town. Best in brown leather or suede, and worn with grey suiting or tweed. Number 3 is the loafer. A shoe characterised by the fact that it is laceless, so must use pressure to hold it into place where lace shoes need not. In the last 15 years, these have turned from being the least popular style of shoe to the highest selling style across the board. The design derives from the moccasin, but the first proper iteration was a commission in 1926 for King George VI, who was then the Duke of York. He wanted a comfortable country house shoe that he could slip on and off easily. The Wildsmith loafer was invented. The loafer has now come in a vast variety of styles, with ones that are meant for more casual wear and others that blend seamlessly into formal and professional circumstances. The penny loafer is an iconic design, but there are also tassel loafers, horsebit, Belgian, butterfly, and many more. Depending on the design, you can wear loafers in most situations these days. I even wear them to Royal Ascot. Number 4 is the monk. A shoe characterised by the strap and buckle or buckles used to fasten it together. The monk shoe's origins are, again, not entirely clear, but the design was registered in 1901. They were incredibly popular in the financial crash of 2008's revival, which saw a real boom in the sartorial market. These are not formal shoes and should not be worn with anything more formal than a lounge suit. They are best worn with casual outfits, and indeed people like to keep one buckle of their double monks undone to amplify their loose credentials. Most commonly, you'll see either a single monk or a double monk, but there are some examples of a triple, but that should be reserved for boots. All in all, this is a style you should have in your wardrobe, but one is probably enough. A brown suede version looks exceptional, but if you want to go leather, try oxblood or burgundy. Number 5 is the boot. The style with the largest depth chart. The boot, from a sartorial point of view, predates the suit, the tie, the trouser and the watch. In general, it's an ancient item, so I want to look at today's best iterations. The Chelsea boot used to be called the saddle boot, with elastic sides, and it was made popular by Queen Victoria, till it became a staple of the 60s and 70s countercultural movements. Not too dissimilar is the jodhpur boot. The cowboy boot, inspired by the vaquero traditions of the 16th century, is as much a part of the old western frontier traditions as the Stetson hat and a lasso, an icon of the American dream. The chucker boot is the most comfortable on the whole list. It is named after either the playing period of a game of polo, after which players would change into their more comfortable footwear, or the word chucker is a Hindi word for a pleasant perambulation.